Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream Park. Samantha Perry and Brian Nato here to walk you through this beautiful Thursday afternoon card. You can see all three of our beautiful surfaces we have here. Fast track, fast tapeta, firm turf. What more can you ask for here, Brian?
Maybe a little cooler in the office. It might be hotter in the office
I'm not going to argue with that.
than it is here at Gulfstream Park. But a big weekend shaping up. We've got the Holy Bowl on Saturday. I was just thumbing through the card. We were talking about it in the office. The path to the Florida Derby really gets going in earnest on Saturday. Not only in the Holy Bowl, but a couple of good undercard races as well. So there's a lot to look forward to this weekend.
Yeah, huge races. These late pick fives will be really fun on Saturday. I'm very excited for it. But today, we've got $50,000 gross jackpot guaranteed in the pick six. It begins in race 4 here. And Brian, I like playing on these days where there's not a lot of money in the pool. I think people forget about it.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday. There were 3 live tickets. It was not a card that was completely crazy. So, before the pools start really swelling, Ronnie and I say this all the time, get involved because you don't have to have the day of your life to be alive to sweep it. You come up with one horse or a couple 6-to-1s, crazier things can happen. So Ronnie's got that ticket in race 4 and looking forward to it. $50,000. So we got to start somewhere.
Yeah. But as far as a ticket to start us off, you've got the early pick 5.
Yeah, and this is a tough race, and we'll get to the opener in a second. But as you can see my ticket, I'd like to think I'm going to be alive after race 1. We will see. I've got a single in race 2, for Saffie Joseph Jr. 3 deep in the third with the 1, Mr. Arbario on top. We'll have a replay coming out of that race as well. 75, looking at Roses on top in race 4 for me. And in race number 5, Calling All Angels on top. There was what I thought a pretty key scratch in that race of Acquired Taste. Mark Cassie had 2, says he'll just run 1, and it's kind of the way I was going all along with Calling All Angels. I did move Amanda's Challenge up to second for Ray Handel. $48, Samantha, a little more expansive, but, we're going to talk about this race right now. It's a tough race to me.
Yeah, it really is. There's $16,000 claimers, a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta track here. No scratches or changes out of this race, a full field of 10, and like our picks show, you could go a lot of different ways. I'll let you go ahead and start off with the number 9, Kicks and Giggles, who I didn't have anywhere in my ticket.
Maiden special weight dropper, I think first and foremost, that's pretty important. Going to get Lasix back on as well. Didn't race with Lasix last time at Churchill Downs. Cuts back, goes from a mile, out to 2 turns on the Tapeta. I played Jeff Hiles yesterday. Horse ran okay in the finale at a nice price. I find this barn as putting the horses in the right spots. It's a race I was looking for maybe a newcomer, a fresh new face. We get it with the 9. I do think it's a positive that Tyler Gaffalione is aboard here.
Yeah, and that maiden race most recently at Churchill produced the next out winner, and that is Cyclone Mischief, who we're going to see on Saturday and the Holy Bull. So, there's some back class out of that race. I don't think it's a super key race. Is that what Ron calls it?
Yeah, we gotta get this. We gotta have him print out that scale. It's so many different factors in that. I think he's in the office doing push-ups or something. So
yeah, he's not working, so we won't bother him right now. But the number 2, Doc Ballard, Brian, was the direction I went. And you've got him a little bit lower. Mary Leitner, really, I hate to say lighting it up, but she is. That was a bad dad pun. I hope Ron heard that one. But Luca Panici in the irons here, taking a nice little drop in class as well here for the 25,000 now to the 16. It was a nice even run. I don't think that this horse has to do much to really improve / beat this field.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And Ron and I were talking about this yesterday. You see the stats for Mary. She's 2 for 6. That's at the championship meet. She won 4 races here in December as well. So this bar before the championship meet kicked off. So, yeah, I can't disagree with anything you say about that. And this horse legged up on the Tapeta last time routing, so he's got that going for him as well.
Yeah, it really does. And the number 8 here, got to go Gator, Kevin Rice, Jose Ortiz, just narrowly missed at this level last time.
Yeah, and that was the first stretch out in a little bit, too. So we've got that behind him and it can be on or just off the early pace. This horse ran very well last time because, as we've talked time and time again, being up front routing on the Tapeta really isn't the way you want to go. No. This horse basically led every step but the last.
And I think it's important to know on days like this, Brian, where it is very warm out, the Tapeta can kind of expand, which will slow it down a little bit. So especially you can kind of see some of these horses like kick in a little bit late. So you know, I take that with what you want to read into it, but that's just kind of how I've noticed the Tapeta play as we've come across it. Race number 2, start of an early pick 4. I am on the early pick 4 duties today, and we'll show you my ticket here in just a moment. $12. I'm starting right off the bat with a single. I'm going to rip off the Band-Aid quick. I felt like there were 2 ways you could go, and I went one way. I know you went the other way. We'll see how that ends up. In race number 3, the number 1, Mr. Abario, is my top pick. I think he's going to love the little extra distance here. Race number 4, I wasn't really sure what to do here, but I added in the number 7 last minute, and I think this might be a little bit of a bomber in this race. And in race number 5, the 9, my top pick out of that spot there, that is Love Mommy Love, $12. And this race here, Brian, you know, couldn't get it done last time, and I think really she should have been the winner.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think she definitely should have won. This is a lot like that race yesterday we ran where you really don't want to use them both.
Yeah.
You probably got the winner somewhere between and Sugarson. Honestly, Samantha, if Sugarson was outside of I would have picked her. I just think the post position gives a big benefit. I agree with you. When you're 8-5 and that's the trip you pull, you're supposed to win. She was well clear of third. I'll give her one more chance. I'm not going to bet her at 6-5 even money, but I put her on top of here.
Yeah, and I think the reason what separated them from me is I think that Saffie Joseph, he's very good at keeping these claimers at their top level, their peak performance. Claudio Gonzalez claimed the number 5 Sugar Sin last out. I think he can improve this filly. So although the Thoroughgraph numbers and the buyer figures are a tad better on I think that maybe Sugar Sin has some upside to her.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Claudio, 29% off the claim. He's done such a good job down here. And when I say down here, we're about a year now since Claudio really started rolling at Gulfstream Park once he got acclimated to the track and all. Again, it's just post position for me. I think she's got a problem with pressing her the entire way from the outside.
Race number 3 is a 1.16 miles on our turf course here today. Rails are out at 63 feet, and we've seen some speed really hold true with this. And you've got a replay here, so I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, so it's Mr. Abario, not White Abario. He's not
close.
In this spot.
Yeah.
And Huasteco, okay, and they're the 2 and the 7 in this race. Here's Huasteco loose on the lead, and we know that's where you want to be on the turf course. Here's Mr. Abario out the back, and we know that's not where you want to be on the turf course. And the fact that he actually passed Huasteco, to me, says that's a pretty sharp run. I know they were cooking along pretty good, but we've seen these kind of splits last time and time again on this turf course. The other thing, too, watch him tip out. He's going to lose ground on the turn as well. Once he levels off in the lane, I really thought, Samantha, he leveled off and really ran well. And now he's inside. We hopefully don't have to lose as much ground entering the far turn. And for him to split these 2 horses that were involved throughout, I thought it was one of those better than it looks kind of efforts against the flow of the course and the race.
Yeah, exactly. And you definitely need to see him closer, especially with the rails out at 63 feet. You could see in that replay the rails were down. They were on the inner spots of the track. So he's got to be quicker. Hopefully he can get out and get the first run on all of them. He's going to have to from the 1 post position. Otherwise, we might be over as the bell rings and the gates pop open. But the number 9 here, Housed, I've got a trainer stat here on Christopher Davis. This is 14 for 113, 12% with horses that won their last out to come win again. So not the greatest of numbers here, which kind of drove me away. Now, this is a young trainer, not a very large sample, but it's hard to keep a horse in top form.
No, I agree, and probably comes in off easily what was a lifetime best, so maybe regression a little bit. The one thing I will say with House is he's a lone 2-time winner.
Exactly.
In a field of 1 furs, and I do think that's important to note. He's going to add Lasix as well. This post is not ideal either, and I put him in second and I used him, but if he's a short number and he's going to get bet in here, I'd want to fade him a little bit, at least in the win pool, because I tend to agree with what Samantha kind of hinted at, that maybe he comes back a little bit today and maybe he can't get back to that race. Chris is, with that being said, Chris, he beat a next out winner, and Chris has been very live with everything he sent out.
Yeah, he really has, and this is a barn that's been firing, and you got to catch him while they are hot. We've got a short break, but when we come back, we will have the Rainbow 6-time, and Ronnie's got a ticket for us.
This is a championship meet. All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
Yeah.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. If you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history.
Shoemaker sitting perfectly still. He hasn't touched this magnificent colt, and here comes the finish.
And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Samantha Perry joined with Brian Nato. We're taking you through this beautiful Thursday afternoon card, and race number 4 kicks off our Rainbow 6, and Ron has got a ticket for us. I'll let you.
Yeah, navigate through the playbook here.
Yeah.
43-20. And I'm glad he used the 14 in race 5. Now, I don't like the 14 at all, but she draws in, as does the 11, Mystic Sunrise. And we'll mention that, as will Pete, obviously, as well. Ronnie's single is in race 7, Via Bella, and I believe she's been pretty good to Ron in the past. I think he had her last time as well. I'm going to assume, because Ron always singles his best bet, that is it. And then he's got a 3x3 late double. I can't wait for the 8th race, and Samantha will be on the turf to give him a better look as well. That is a really good optional claimer for the 3-year-old sprinting on the turf there. It could be a very, very key race in the making. You see Ronnie goes 3 deep on a 43-20 ticket.
It's textbook stuff from Ron here. Let's see if he can get it home today. But kicking off this race, number 4, 1 turn mile on the dirt here allows optional claimers. And scratching the number 4, Mr. Tito's, making this a field of 7 that remains. And speaking of the 7, this is who you have on top, which I think that this horse is a bomb. It took me a second to really catch on to this horse, but I'm curious to see what you have to say.
Yeah, I was going to make him my long shot, and then I said, no, I think they're going to bet this horse. I don't really see him being anywhere near 12-1, and of course Mr. Tito's is out there, goes 18 points on the line as well. So I think looking at Roses, I mean, this is a big class drop, Samantha. You look at the race the last time he was on dirt. You got Picking Up Pennies, just ran in the stakes on Saturday, 2-Volt Man. I mean, that's a really, really good race. Yeah. He's got Luis Saez as well. He's well drawn to the outside going this 1 turn mile. So I think he's going to get bet in here, and I think on the class drop, I'll give him a shot. He should still be, 5-1 or so, but I'll give him a shot on the drop.
Yeah, I think this is a horse that could really sneak in there. And like you said, we're not going to get the price that we had hoped for, but still going to be an interesting one to play. The number 5 is where I went, and trained by Mike Maker. And we've got a stat on Mike Maker here, and a newly turned 8-year-old horse. Now, this is a first after a trainer switch at Gulfstream the last 5 years. He's 12 for 57, 21 win percentage, $2.01 ROI. So making his switch from the Robatros barn here to the Mike Maker barn, Mike Maker and Mike Dubb, you can't really bet against those silks there.
No, the pink and yellow win at a high percentage for Mike and Mike, that is. And the only thing that bugged me a little bit, this horse has got that big figure 2 back at Aqueduct, and I kind of feel that might be more the exception than the rule. He's in the low to mid 70s and high 60s. Now, that was probably against better up there, especially at that time of the year in New York throughout the summer and early fall. But and you're going to take a short number on this horse too. But I can't play this early pick 5 pool without using him. Yeah,
this is a horse that, if it was any other barn, it would worry me. Yeah. But with these connections, I think that this is one that I'm a little more sold on, but I'm not going to get a good price on it. Now, Wall Street Trader, you don't have this horse at all, but this is going to be the speed of this race. I can't see anybody else keeping up.
No, I agree. He's loose in here. You look at that race last time, and it was against 2 L's, and he runs off the screen. You got a golf clap to him. You got to give him that.
Yeah.
I found it hard to believe on a big step up in class. He can double up. And you're right, he is a controlling speed in here, but maybe red flag alert presses just a little bit. We'll see what happens. I'm going to play against him doubling up against better.
The number 2, red flag alert. I thought that this horse was interesting. My comments were, why dirt? So I'm curious, why dirt for you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that race at Hawthorne 2 back was a really good effort. And Cheryl Weinbaugh, if you're not familiar with this barn, she's come down here. This is the second winter in a row now where she's come down and brought stock that has run very, very well here. Edgar Perez, a former Chicago guy, so I think that bodes well too. And I wouldn't sleep on this horse at what should be a square price with probably a good trip too. I would think he's going to try to set up shop just outside of Wall Street Trader.
Race number 5. This is the start of the late pick 5. I was on the late pick 5 duties today here. 1 mile on the grass kicks it off. We'll get to that in just a moment. In race number 6, I went too deep with my top pick being the number 8 out of here, Musical Design. It'll be a short price, so we'll see how that goes. Race number 7, the number 1 is my top pick, Whatchamacall. And in race number 8, my best bet of the day, Take Care of Business. A 5 furlongs on the grass. That's going to be a really nice race, as Brian alluded to earlier. And in race number 9, the 8 is my top pick here, the Predicament, hoping he will not get himself in a predicament and find himself in the winner's circle. $24 is the price here. And race number 5, you have a replay of Calling All Angels that we're going to show.
Yeah, and there's not a lot going on here, but this is this horse's first start in the U.S. and first start for Mark Cassidy. And just watch this kind of middle move. He's sifting through between now. Okay, I thought this was a real power move, Samantha, entering the far turn, and he's going to get close to the leaders. And then he is going to kind of predictably, I think, flatten out. I mean, when you make this kind of move mid-race in your first start in the country, first start in the barn and all that, I didn't really expect this horse to go from, backstretch all the way to the front, tired. But what I thought was there's something there, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And now we can build on that. Maybe this is the spot they had in mind all along. They run him in a special weight. They can't lose him. Now the screws are tightened. DJ Stable loves winning races down here. The other thing, too, now, and this, of course, I didn't know until this morning, Mark had 2, and the old adage, why are you going to run 2 when you only need 1, scratches the 8 out of there. So maybe that flatters Calling All Angels a little bit.
Yeah, and I actually really did like Calling All Angels a little bit more than his scratch entry mate. And I think this horse will be really tough. Like you said, those middle moves on the grass are so important as a rider, as just taking the race, and that's what makes the difference between an incredible turf rider and a just average turf rider. And these are guys that know how to get this stuff done. Emma Jane Wilson's in the saddle here, and she's been very prominent in Canada and for the Mark Cassidy barn, so in capable hands here. The number 9 is Love Mommy Love, and this was a filly that I put on top. You have a little bit lower, and I wasn't going to pick her on top as of yesterday, but Lady Hamilton came back and won so impressively yesterday, and that was who defeated her last time. And she actually ran a really gutsy race. It was her first time on the grass. She's worked well since then on the Tapeta. I just think that she's better than she looks here.
Yeah, I could have pulled this replay up as well because she had a trip last time, and that was her first time on turf. It was her first time at 2 turns as well, and now we get Irad in the saddle, so she's going to get bet 7-2 on the morning line with a few out now. She's going to probably be even lower than that. I just felt that her margin wasn't a big one, and she'll be an underlaid price, but she's a big threat in here.
Race number 6. This is the start of the late pick 4 here. 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta, and Brian's got a ticket for us.
Yeah. Reworked a little bit, a couple scratches, including my long shot in race number 7. We'll get to this race. In race number 7, I was going 6 deep in there. Now I scratch into 1 of 1, 4 deep in the 8th. That really good turf race. I've got your horse taking care of business. I'm really excited, and you hear what you have to say on the turf as well. Then more than Ready Eddie. We've got a replay. This horse just galloped last time, and you mentioned it. The Predicament, just give me a clear run, and all bets are off on him. I don't think they'll beat him today, but he's got to stay out of trouble. That's a $16 ticket.
A very affordable ticket. Punch it once, punch it twice, however you see fit to build that bankroll for this weekend. This race here, though, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta track, and I've got a stat. We're both not going to like it here for trainer Wesley Ward. 3 for 20, second off of a layoff at Gulfstream Park the last 5 years.
A little surprising for a barn that's, you know, comfortably in the 20s, higher 20s for that matter. I didn't want to pick this horse. I didn't like picking this horse. I felt this horse, she had to win last time.
Yep.
She didn't. But all that being said and all that being equal, she's perfectly drawn.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see a lot in here, and I feel like she does have upside where the rest of these gals in here, I kind of know what they can do, and I kind of know what they can't do as well. Cool to see Frankie Dettori sticking around to ride after he was here for the weekend. So, boy, she's kind of got to win today, or I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah, this is one that I think we're going to be divorced after this race if it doesn't happen. And I understand, like you said, there's not a lot in here, and the ones that are in here, they've already shown it. So you're going to the number 3, Sienna Lady, making her first start. But Astern just not as productive on the Tapeta surface.
No, it was more to me that Jose Pinchin reaches for Luis Saez. That seems to be some significant. And the other horses, you know, Stake of Claim is in form and couldn't beat Musical Design. She's on the rail. And, you know, there's some of these other. Maryland, I guess, getting back to sprinting makes sense. But I'm okay with Musical Design. I'll look for a price underneath, and I'll use them both because, you know, the other thing is, too, maybe there is a lot of speed in here. Maybe Jose's got a live one here. The fact that he reaches for a championship jockey says maybe this horse can run a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. Race number 7 started the late pick 3, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. This is a quick group of 3-year-old fillies. Scratch the number 2 and 5 out of this race, so kind of helps these outside drawn horses. And you went to the number 4, 1 of 1 here to kick things off in this late pick 3.
Scratched into her. I had Kavala as my long shot, so this is not with a lot of confidence. It's also the race I went 4 deep in. I was going 6 deep in. She's got a hint of a rating gear, and I think that's key. You look at the Tapeta run last time behind Strokes, who we'll see, I believe tomorrow it is, or no, Saturday, I think, actually, in the stakes, excuse me. And I thought that was a pretty good effort, and maybe we can be close enough to the speed, but we're not going to get fried by the speed because I do think it could come back just a little bit. So, again, I scratched into her on a race where I want to spread.
The number 7 here, Daisy Doozy. Everybody, I think, knew about this horse except us on the day that she won at almost 25 to 1. Was so impressive from the Scott Acker barn. And this is a filly that had a lot of her foundation on the Tapeta working here locally. So I think that this is a really good spot for her to come back. Now, will she react off that win? It remains to be seen. We'll have to get a good look at her today, Brian. But this is one that she might sneak away at a little bit of a price. Well, actually, maybe with the scratch, it's not so much now.
Yeah, I mean, she still could be a decent price because what's going to happen is people are going to see that 24 to 1. They get a little scared by that. She's got speed and abundance that plays on this Tapeta sprinting. You know, Shurkan did come back to win. I wasn't overly impressed with the way she did it, but, hey, she got it done. We'll give her credit for that. She steps up today. It wouldn't be a shock, and I think she is well drawn to be outside the other speed.
Race number 8 here. This is a 5 furlong sprint. This is one of our feature races of today. I think the Tapeta sprint is also kind of a key race, but our feature race of the day, 5 furlongs for 3-year-olds. Scratch the 5 out of this race and a field of 9. And this is just a really nice race. I'm excited to watch it. And More Than Ready Eddie for the Todd Pletcher barn. This is a horse that's actually trying the grass for the first time.
Yeah, buy More Than Ready, so you know what's in there. We'll take a look at the replay. This is way back in June. And, you know, at 45 cents to the dollar, this was the plan. But watch this horse. I'm going to say level out in the lane, but really this horse was basically in a canter the entire way. Now, we haven't seen him since. Obviously, that's a question mark. And obviously, that wasn't the plan, you know, with the big summer races for 2-year-olds at Saratoga. But Todd is so good at getting these horses back. This was an off-the-turf race, so turf was the plan all along. We know these More Than Readies are just so potent on the grass. And watch this horse turn for home now. And in about mid-stretch, just a little twitch or two, and then he's kind of geared down towards the end. I understand he wasn't really beating a lot, and he's an early season 2-year-old, and he's 45 cents on the dollar. I get all that, but, boy, this was really impressive after what looked like one crack there, and he's going to essentially be geared down under the wire. I'm excited to see him back today. He gets the turf. He's got speed. He's well drawn, and I think his running style is really going to suit this course. So we'll see what we get from more than Eddie Lasix too.
Yeah, which is also a nice thing to get. It's more for me, though, just what have you done for me lately? But Todd Pletcher, and Todd, I trust with this because we saw it again with Money's Gold, won so impressively at Monmouth and then came back to blow him away again here today. This is just a barn that gets these types of horses ready off of these extended layoffs and lets them kind of mature and grow up some. So we'll see how he'll take to the green stuff here. The number 3, Take Care of Business. My best bet of the day. I had him on top last time. I thought New York Thunder might react off of that really nice win. Didn't happen for me, but this horse was well clear of the 3rd, 4th, 5th place finishers. I think that I'm going to give him another shot here.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with New York Thunder, he is a freakishly fast horse for Jorge Delgado, and he's going places, I think. So that was a really, really big effort, too. And you know, this horse is chasing 43-3 and maybe a stakes winner, too. So I think that, Samantha, that's the race that everyone's trying to get to.
Yeah, it really is. And I like the spacing between this race here. The connections just kind of waited on him a little bit, and now he's back. Hopefully he'll get a nice, clean run here. Gets Edgar Perez. Kind of worries me a little bit the fact that Irad didn't come back for this horse, but you take what you can, and I think that this is a horse. Actually, Irad is on your 4 horse here.
He's on Ship the Goods for Christophe Clement. And we don't, you know, there's so many things that go on with these jockeys things.
Yeah.
To me, I always, with a little trepidation, say, oh, he's not riding such and such. We don't really know. Maybe Taking Care of Business wasn't supposed to go here.
Exactly.
Who knows? But back to the 4, Ship the Goods was good winning on the dirt. At Tampa Bay Downs. We'll see what we get on the turf today. The Munnings can run on anything. We know that. Going to add Lasix as well, beat a next out winner. So I would think this horse can run a little bit too.
I think so. It'll be a really fun race number 8. But our finale of the day, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta for 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races or have not won a race since Ron had a girlfriend 2 years ago on Valentine's Day. Just kidding, Ron. 5.5 furlongs. No changes out of this race here. And we've got a replay, and I'm glad that you showed this, although not the spot that I was going to show, but I am glad that you're showing this, and I'll let you take it away about the predicament.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the predicament was going to win, okay, but he's in the picture, that's for sure. He's the 2 down inside, and, you know, even right now he's got run and can't necessarily poke through, and he's behind a couple horses that are probably going to tire, probably maybe going to come out, and you're kind of waiting, and Jose Ortiz is a little stuck between a rock and a hard place. So now he gets out, and then it's just going to all kind of heck is going to break loose here. And he's definitely coming between, Samantha. Again, is he going to win? I don't know, but he's not going to be, you know, he checks out of it. He's just losing all chance right there. And to his credit, he re-rallies again and actually saves the show there.
Yeah.
I just want clear sailing. He's off the claim now for Sandino Hernandez, who has not started a lot of horses. But, boy, everything he's put on the track is very, very live. And I think he's perfectly drawn and has the perfect running style for this kind of spot.
He really does. And what I was alluding to earlier at the beginning of that race, which I'm not even sure if you could see it, but at the start of that race, the number 9, Famous Gent, is also there. And when they kicked open the gates, the horse was still, the header still had the horse's head turned. It was almost just like he wasn't really ready. So 5 furlongs, forget about it. You're done after that. So I think maybe with this horse being drawn to the outside, he's the last to load. As soon as they put that last horse in the gate, they're taking the strap off and they're kicking the gate. So maybe he'll get himself settled a little bit more. But like you said, this is a race where you could go so many different ways here. And you like Loyal Louis, and Kent Sweezy is the master at upsetting the finales here.
Yeah, I mean, this horse has a little hang maybe in him, or a little not really a fan of getting your picture taken, but I like the fact that he actually bumps him up in class just a little bit. We've got Luis Saez as well, and Kent, as you kind of hinted at, has been known to pop at prices. He's a pretty good 15% on the Tapeta, well, all weather. So, you know, I think this horse is a player at which should be a decent price, but at 2 for 31, there's also a reason why I put him underneath.
Exactly, and I think we're just completely against annihilation here. It's a fade for us. That's the number 5. So that wraps up our Thursday afternoon card, but stay with us because we've got our lightning round and beat the expert.
Yeah, there was no expert on Saturday. I can tell you that.
Oh,
so.
no, there wasn't. I'm up on Saturday. I'm glad I wasn't on Saturday. I thought it was my duty, and I'm glad I wasn't. I had 0 winners on top on Saturday. I did have a super, though, that somebody did tell me they hit, which is fine. Anyway, this Saturday, try to pick more horses than me on Holy Bull Day. You can win a Gulfstream Park polo here, and it'll be a lot of fun. I love to see the emails of the defeat that I get afterward.
I'm working extra shifts to pay for all the polos that we had to send
Distribute
out
for you?
after my Beat the Expert performance on
You have
Saturday.
to keep scrolling down to find Brian's submissions. He's all the way down at the end of the email. Yep. Coast to Coast Pick 5 is back. This is such a fun a bet to do here. 3 races from Gulfstream Park this Saturday, which is exciting. They're all of our stake races. Actually, it's all stakes Coast to Coast Pick 5. At Santa Anita, they've got a couple stakes as well, so it'll be a lot of fun. Make sure to get involved in that this Saturday. Brian?
Sunday as well. So,
oh, yep, and Sunday, yeah. So it'll be a really exciting day. And your best bet of the day?
My best bet of the day is the predicament. That's right. Last race, you got to wait all the way to the end for the predicament.
And be disappointed at the whole car ride
boy.
home. I'm kidding. My best bet is Take Care of Business. 7-2, hoping he can take care of business here today.
And I lost my long shot, unfortunately, so we'll fight again tomorrow at I have a pretty decent price tomorrow. So.
Yeah, you do. Actually, I saw that. So the number 9, Famous Gent, in race number 9, hoping for a better break. So that's my long shot of the day. And Saturday, turn your clocks on a little bit earlier. We're starting at 11:50. We have incredible stakes for Holy Bull Day. Wake up early with us. Come watch the show. Ron's finally going to get out of the office, and we're going to do the show with each other on Saturday, and some really incredible racing, Brian.
It really is. These are all 3-year-olds, by the way, okay? And all, obviously, you can see there, grade 3 races, and the Holy Bull it starts the path, and I've been saying it for a couple days now, that Florida Derby on April 1st, and, with all these horses hoping to progress, not only Florida Derby, of course, the first Saturday in May as well, but I'm excited, and I told you I'm excited. My guy, Lord Miles, putting the blinkers on.
I'm
Maybe
happy for you.
Figure this game out a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm excited. I talked to Sappy yesterday. We'll get to show that interview on Saturday, and he's excited for him as well, so that'll be fun. If not, you're divorced. You're signing the divorce papers with him. On this weekend, also, Santa Anita has a mandatory Pick 6 payout. Sunday, make sure to get involved after you've won all your money with us on Saturday at Holy Bull Day. Pool estimated to exceed $3 million, and Brian, we just see that grow and grow.
Yeah, I mean, we were estimated at $3 million Sunday, and I think all said and done was $7 million, 6.2 new money. That's a fun one to wrap up the weekend out there at Santa Anita, and the beauty of it is those cards are drawn so early, like we do. You got the Holy Bull card right here. Get active, get involved. Red pens.
I'm not sure what that means.
You got to use the red pen on your form.
Okay, I think that's like a teacher grading.
Yeah.
We're going to send it up to Pete Aiello for the scratches and changes. Enjoy your day. We will be with you throughout the day as well as Claudia and Ron. Good luck.
We're ready for the start. They're off.